Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Elephant in the Room podcast. My name is William Corley, and today I'm joined by myself. So, today is November 7th. The election was on Tuesday. It is now Saturday, and that's where I want to start today's podcast. I'm just going to give you a quick update. Everything is going crazy. Today, as of about an hour ago, they just announced Joe Biden as the winner of the election, which is falling exactly into my 46,000 step plan of how the election is going to go down. This is I'm not sure what step this is. I really don't actually have a 47,000 step plan. It's more like, two. First, everything's going to happen, which I guess would be a step in it. I'm really, the format of the steps is not too clear to me, but here's what I think. I think they're going to declare Joe Biden the winner of this election, which they just did about an hour ago. And then I think everything is going to be investigated. Everything is going to be legal. Everything is going to be moving. And stuff's not close right now. Certain things are not close. Arizona's close. Georgia's very close. Wisconsin's very close. Certain things are going to be pursued legally by Donald Trump, and we're going to see what happens with that. But I think the Democrats know that they're going to lose, and I think they're calling this early so that when Donald Trump wins the election, after we find out everything, then all they have to do is say that Donald Trump is the one that created the fraud. Donald Trump is the one that is making fraudulent votes. Donald Trump is the one that is, creating the false narrative that he won. But in reality, it's the opposite way around. I mean, you've got 100,000 votes popping up in the middle of the night in Michigan. Same thing in Wisconsin. You've got this race that all of a sudden they stop counting in Georgia, and then everything that comes in after that is for Joe Biden. And then you've got Arizona, which they called early. They would call other states for Joe Biden way before it's time. And now they'll call Arizona really early. And it looks like Donald Trump is going to come back in Arizona, which, is all just it's all the same thing. They just want to create this narrative that this is a big election for Joe Biden, which, I mean, with all the fraud votes that they're putting out there, it is a big election for Joe Biden. If this was all true, if this was all factual and legal votes, then, I mean, Joe Biden overperformed Obama in 2008 with his landslide victory. But the fact is, Joe Biden, in every city except the 4 where all of a sudden, in the middle of the night and through the course of delayed counting, it's overturned and become a Joe Biden winning state, in every city except that, he's underperforming Hillary Clinton. And I don't know if you guys remember what happened to Hillary Clinton. Let me just give you a reminder. She lost. She lost the election, and he's underperforming her, and she lost. I mean, I don't know if I can make that much clearer to you, but she lost the election. Like, she was not the winner of the election. And he's doing worse than her. He's doing worse than her. So, I mean, by all assumption, that would make him the loser of the election. But when you all of a sudden, Joe Biden, this is election night, they bring him out. I mean, I'm not sure. I think, yeah, he walked up a few, like maybe 3 stairs to get up to the podium where he spoke. I'm pretty sure before that, they had him on like a cart or something. I mean, I'm not saying that he was, but I'm not saying he wasn't. Like, you couldn't see him, of course, but he was probably on a motorized scooter, something along those lines, which I'm assuming if he actually is actually going to be the president, we'll see him on a motorized scooter a lot, because, I mean, he's just old. He's a really old guy, and, I mean, that's what old people ride in, motorized scooters, I would assume. Something like that. I mean, maybe they'll wheel him around on a little moving dolly or something like that. But he gave a speech. I just got a little distracted there. Sorry. He gave a speech. It wasn't much of a speech, actually. It was more like more like some ramblings, to count every vote, and that he was going to go to bed, and that you should too on election night. This was I'm not sure what time this was. It was either late night or early in the morning. And from there, I would assume Democrats went to bed because, I mean, everything Joe Biden says is correct, which, I mean, if Joe Biden tells you to go to bed, you're going to bed, okay? Because Joe Biden's going to bed, which, I mean, I'm not sure how that correlates, but I guess they went to bed. And then the next morning, we find out, oh, look, there's 100,000 votes for Joe Biden, 0% for Donald Trump in Wisconsin, in Michigan, and we're just supposed to not question that? We're supposed to, how do you not question that? Because it's mathematically impossible for that to happen. And you did it in the middle of the night after everyone was supposed to be asleep, and the states themselves said they were done counting. I mean, I don't know about you, but that seems suspicious to me. Like, I mean, if I was to commit voter fraud, I would try to sneak it in a little more than that. I would try to, maybe, put 5% Donald Trump votes. Maybe if I'm really not that smart, I would put 1%, which is the odds of that happening are still next to impossible. But where do you find 100% Donald Trump votes? You're telling me there wasn't an error, or you're telling me there wasn't even a single crackhead that didn't even know how to write. Not even a single crackhead who voted that didn't just draw a smiley face. You're telling me there wasn't one mistake or one vote. And besides that, now that we're a few days past that happening, the same thing, I mean, maybe not 100% for Joe Biden, the same things are popping up in other states. So we have Arizona, which is the one place I haven't really seen it popping up because Donald Trump's about to win Arizona. They've taken it out of the blue, finally. It's not blue anymore. It's a undecided state, and Donald Trump's not losing by much there. And he's on progress to, overtake Joe Biden in that state. But they've called Wisconsin. They called Michigan. Too early, might I add, for Wisconsin for sure. And there's too much going on in Michigan. I mean, they're not going to acknowledge that there's a lot going on in Michigan, but there is. And then all of a sudden, Georgia, which has been solidly red for, 28 years, Georgia, all of a sudden, they are saying is in play. Because there's this county and, they've been delayed. There's a pipe burst, which turns out the pipe burst was far away and unrelated. There's a pipe burst, so we can't count. We're going to come back to counting. And, it's Saturday. We almost have all the votes in from Georgia. And all of a sudden now, after the delays, Joe Biden is winning by, around 2,000 votes in Georgia. Let me tell you, that didn't happen. That's not true at all. I guarantee it. I can personally guarantee that's not true. Okay? I mean, I don't know what if I'm wrong about that, then you can unsubscribe from the channel. Okay? But that's not true. I guarantee it. In Pennsylvania, Donald Trump had I think it was 600,000 or 700,000 vote lead. They were saying, you cannot make that up. Okay? You can't make ground on that. And all of a sudden, these votes come in. The votes just keep coming. Right? They delay again. They board up the walls so that Donald Trump's people watching the votes, they can't watch. There's a court order for them to be able to watch. They deny them in, even with the court order. And these tallies are just running up for Joe Biden. I mean, you've got more people voting than they're registered to vote. You've got 90 or more % turnout of voters, which doesn't happen. And all the meanwhile, no one's saying that they see anything wrong with it. I mean, this is basically going from the news controls how you think the election is going to go to now the Democrats control how the actual election goes. And that doesn't work. Okay, you already have big tech. They censor Donald Trump. They're censoring everything. And then you have the news who says it's going to go one way. The news says, "Oh, Donald Trump is going to lose badly." Right? He's going to lose terribly. And then you see these votes come in, and I really think that the Democrats were panicking. I think they thought the votes they had, that maybe they had the fraud already ready to go, and the votes that they had were going to be plenty to make Joe Biden win. But the Donald Trump voters showed out in so much. There's so much Donald Trump votes came in that now they're in a panic, and it's about to get all uncovered. And the biggest, I think, one of the biggest stories that's going to be one of the biggest problems for Democrats announcing this now is that all these machines. There's machines in Michigan that originally they were just saying the machine in Michigan, it turned around 6,000 votes from Joe Biden to Donald Trump. That's a pretty big problem. Did I say Joe Biden to Donald Trump? I don't know what I said, but I meant from Donald Trump to Joe Biden, they switched votes. Okay? And then, that's a pretty big problem. And so it turns out this machine is used in like 47 counties in Michigan. And then later on, the development comes out. Oh, what's going to happen? It sounds like these machines are used in every single battleground state. And this little glitch with these 6,000 votes doesn't seem so much like a glitch anymore. And whether or not it's a glitch, or whether they are going to say it's a glitch forever, even if Donald Trump turns around and wins this thing, they're going to say that it's a glitch forever in the mainstream media if Donald Trump wins, because that's a great way to cover your tail if they find out and all this stuff starts coming in of all these votes switched from Joe Biden or from Donald Trump to Joe Biden. That's a great way to cover it up. That's a great way to cover it up. That's pretty smart. But my question is, what happens when another Republican runs? I just don't what happens when another Republican who isn't willing to fight as much as Donald Trump is and just cowers? What happens during this election? Like another election where the Republican just is like, "Oh, I guess we lost," and doesn't fight when they see stuff like this going on. And what about the Republicans now that are not fighting with Donald Trump? Where is your boldness? You got to stand up for this, and you got to bite it right now, okay? Because if you let this happen now, Democrats run it all. Democrats, they don't I don't see Democrats losing again if they get away with this, okay? So you should probably stand up for it right now. You might not like Donald Trump that much, but this is bigger than Donald Trump. This is the Democratic Party. This is corruption, okay? And another thing that I see happening, or that is going to happen, is there's been riots already, and some of these riots have been with Donald Trump trying to find the fraud and stuff like that. Some of the riots, as people don't understand that this isn't a Joe Biden issue. Some of these riots have just been for anarchy. They've been F Donald Trump, F Joe Biden, no more presidents, which I'm not really sure who they voted for, if that was their feeling. Maybe Kanye West, because they knew it would make a difference or something like that. I really don't know. But if that's their feeling, then Joe Biden's not going to fix the problem, because they don't want a president at all. They just want chaos. And I think people don't understand that that's how some of these people feel, that their riots aren't simply because of Donald Trump. Granted, some of them are. But I think that the Democrats' whole plan, which, they love to give Donald Trump headaches. They love to try, at least, I would say. I think their plan this whole time was either to win by this fraud, right? Or their plan was to do the fraud And then when it gets overturned and Donald Trump wins, they can make it look like, oh, Donald Trump is the one doing the fraud. Donald Trump is the one that didn't honor the election system, and now he's trying to turn it around. And Donald Trump shouldn't even be allowed in office right now, which, I mean, we've gone through this all. He's had an impeachment already. It was totally false, right? And that's another thing. What do you think stopped them from doing this in 2016 with Hillary Clinton? I mean, I guess personally I would say that it was probably the fact that they actually believed the polls last time around and they thought Donald Trump didn't stand a chance. They definitely would have done it in 2016 too if they thought that Donald Trump stood a chance. I mean, it's the Clintons. You would have seen so much corruption in that one too. But now it's here, okay? There's corruption. I have no doubt in my mind. I am very confident that Donald Trump gets this presidency, whether or not they're announcing it now, because that's their plan. This is basically their whole plan. They have a, however many step plan. I don't know I wasn't in the meeting where they planned to do the voter fraud, but however many steps they wanted to do it in, it could have been an A, B, like one step one, A and B of that step, or it could have been, they could have not done subcategories and they could have done, maybe 5 steps without subcategories, or they could have done an alphabetical order, one step for each part of the alphabet. I really don't know how they formatted the pamphlet, is what I'm saying. But I know they had a plan, and I know that this is their plan. They want to make it seem like Donald Trump is the one stealing the election, when that's totally false. That's totally false. And I want you to know that this is not going to be this. Donald Trump is going to fight for this. Okay? If we had other people, other Republicans, I'm not as convinced that they would fight for it. I'm not as convinced. Okay, maybe, but they might give up at a certain point. But people need to stand with Donald Trump right now. People need to follow what's going on. They need to share what's going on and have confidence, because I think this gets turned around. I think that Donald Trump wins this election. And don't pay attention to the fake news, because it doesn't really make a difference what they're saying, because they're just lying. They're just like, it's not that complicated. It's not hard to not lie. It's not hard to tell when they're lying, unless all you've ever heard is them. But they're just lying. I mean, that's all I can say. It's just blatant. They're like, there has been basically no concern of voter fraud. That's just crap. That's they're just lying. Okay? There's a lot of concern for fraud right now, whether or not it is blatant fraud, or whether or not, I think it's blatant fraud to me. It seems like, they might as well be screaming from the hills that they're committing fraud. But I think that maybe the glitch is a big thing we're gonna see a lot more about, because the glitch, to me, if I was gonna, like I said, if I was gonna commit voter fraud, I would use the glitch, because the glitch is turning around these votes, and I think it's doing it in a lot more places than we've realized. The glitch is turning around votes, and then, if they find out, and if they get all these votes turned around, and if Donald Trump wins, then it was a glitch. Which, I think the Democratic Party and people who watch mainstream media, they'll believe that it was a glitch. But if you're informed, that seems pretty coincidental. It seems very coincidental that this glitch turned all these votes around. And, even if they get found out and it was a coded actual program that was supposed to cause this numeric change, and they changed these votes, it's like every 100 votes or every 1,000 whatever changed this many. If it was a program the person who made the program goes, I mean, I don't know if they go to jail or what happens, but the person who made the program gets in trouble, right? I mean, most likely it wasn't Joe Biden who held them at gunpoint, but I think the person who made the program gets in trouble, and that's the last we hear of it because, nothing happens anymore to Democrats. But, you know, I think it was a program. I mean, I don't think it was a glitch. It's you can call it a glitch. It's going to be called a glitch if it turns out that's what the biggest issue was. But I don't think it's a glitch. I don't believe it. I think, some kid, not kid. I mean, you know, not a mid-20s. He wears suspenders. He likes jazz music, and he goes to, I don't know, he does square dance on the weekends. No, I mean, he wouldn't do the square dance. What would he do? I don't know. I'm not sure his full backstory, whoever it is. Um, he's a smart kid. I don't know why I keep calling him a kid. It's definitely mid-20s, maybe mid-30s. He's got a family, a small family, probably about one kid. He works in programming for Microsoft, and Bill Gates comes up to him with Hunter Biden, and they all go smoke crack together. And while they're smoking the crack, they're high as a kite, just vibing. And Bill Gates is like, I had this idea for a glitch. And at first the guy's a little hesitant about it, but then Hunter Biden pulls out a gun and holds it to the guy's head, and then from there, I mean, he started typing. It was kind of magical. I wasn't there, but I mean, I'm assuming that's kind of how the situation went. On a side note, have you guys ever looked at your teeth? What I mean by that is, I was in the car on the way here, and I looked at my teeth and the roof of my mouth, and it teeth are weird. I just want to say that teeth are weird. I was thinking about it, and it was in the top. I don't know what I'm saying. It was on the top. It's on the top of my mind. I saw my teeth, and I was like, teeth are weird. And I just wanted to bring that up. Do you guys think teeth are weird? Because I do. I mean, I just was looking at them. I was like, these things are weird. But yeah, that was kind of a side note. Anyway, this is how the podcast is going to be from now on. I'm going to be doing it solo. It's going to be about politics, but it's basically going to be about whatever I want. And we'll just see what I want. Probably politics until this gets resolved, because I can't sleep and I'm watching a lot of news, and I'm looking at a bunch of people be really dumb and say there's no fraud right now. And there most definitely is. But don't get too worried. This is going to turn around. I do believe that. And I think that America is going to be greater than ever, right? And I think that the Democrats are going to cry a lot. I think they're going to go in their room. They're going to, I don't know what they do. I don't know what a social justice warrior's room looks like. Probably a gay flag on one side and a Marxism flag on the other side, and, pictures of girls with armpit hair or something like that. They're going to go in their room that looks like that. They're going to bow down to their picture of Joe Biden, and they're going to pray. I'm not sure if it's directly to Joe Biden or if it's, Hillary Clinton or who. I mean, praying to Hillary Clinton is basically like praying to the devil. But that's a side note. They're going to pray to somebody. It's probably not going to be God. Maybe they're going to pray to AOC, somebody like that. But it's not going to do anything, okay? They're going to watch the fake news. They're going to be like, we got the election stolen from us. It's just false, okay? You're going to be lied to a lot in the next week, I feel like. The next 2 weeks. There's going to be a lot of lies going around. There's going to be a lot of people saying that Donald Trump is irreverent to the system. And it's just not true. And, if Joe Biden actually is the president, is actually got legitimate votes, then, you're not going to see Republicans going around trashing buildings, burning things, and doing all that. And they're probably not even going to say, not my president. I mean, if they're smart, they wouldn't say it because he is your president. I mean, not yet. Possibly not ever. But if it's actually true and it's actually legal votes, then he will be your president. And, I mean, I really don't know what he's going to do. I would say, I mean, as far as the people around him, I think they'll do some pretty terrible things for America. Joe Biden himself, I can't say I see him living longer than a year. But if he does live longer than a year, I see him in a lot of wheelchair situations. Maybe like I mentioned, maybe electric scooter. He'll ride around on an electric scooter. I'll probably see him sleeping a lot. Maybe he'll get a sponsorship from Memory Foam or something like that. I can't say I see him doing a whole lot of moving. Because, this guy's tired. This guy, when he gave his speech yesterday where he said, I think we're going to win, this guy was out of breath. I mean, he sounded like people ordering 6 Big Macs at McDonald's. Like, I mean, if you're fat enough to not even be able to get the words out to order more food, then you got a situation. I'm just saying. But that's what he sounded like to me. I mean, he sounded out of breath. He looked tired. The guy always looks tired. I mean, the guy I don't know how many drugs they had to put in him just to get him on the stage for 5 minutes. I mean, him and Hunter could just be in the back, smoking crack just to get a little amped up before. But, I mean, Joe Biden, the come up from crack is probably about the same as Donald Trump functioning on a bad day. So I can't say I see him doing a lot himself. I think maybe his administration will do some pretty terrible things for America. But Joe Biden himself, I don't see him being anything but the face or maybe dead, to be honest with you. But, I think other than the terrible administration, the terrible things he wants to do to our country, the socialism, the voter fraud, I think other than that, he'll be great and he will be a great leader. I think gas will be really expensive, and I think that we're going to hear a lot of weird speeches. I mean, can you imagine Joe Biden in a crisis? Like a national crisis happens. What does Joe Biden say? What is he like? So something big happens to America, right? Something terrible. What does Joe Biden say? Joe Biden gets on stage, he walks up, or maybe he doesn't walk. Maybe he rolls up, he scoots up, he maybe crawls up, depending on how many injections they could get in him before he had to go on stage. However, whatever ability he has to get on the stage, maybe he's not on stages anymore at all because they're too elevated and he gets lightheaded or something like that. But besides the getting on stage part, he gets on stage, right? He moves the mic a little bit, Actually, he can't move the microphone because he can't lift his arms. They're too weak. But he goes up to the microphone. Come on, man. That's all he's got to say. He just gets off stage and he's like, come on, man. You guys really did that? We're in a national crisis? Come on, man. And then, they escort him off stage. And the Democrats cheer. That's their signature line. All they can do when something bad happens is say, come on, man, and then look to Kamala Harris to fix it. But, that's basically what I think it'll be like. But, yeah. Today's podcast is brought to you by myself and the fact that I'm here. And I'll see you guys in whatever day I post another podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like, subscribe. Also, I did want to announce I will be running for president in, what is the math here? Because I have 17 years until I'm 35, right? 17 years until I'm 35. So that's 37. Yeah, but there's not going to be an election on 2037. All right. Whatever the math is, I figure if I start running for president now and campaigning, by the time I'm 35, I'll have quite a bit of a following, and I might actually win it. So I am running for president, whatever year I'm past 35. And you should vote for me then. You can start rooting for me now. And by the time if you each tell one person that I'm running for president, by the time that year gets here, I might actually win.